Hey, what's happening, my fearless networking friends? Todd Falcone here. Welcome back to another episode. Today I want to talk about developing more leaders. How do you get more people that are independently doing things without you needing to be there for their every little whim, if you will? So a couple things I want to share with you, because it can be very easy to be in a situation where you are a doer, a producer, you're impatient. In fact, I'm going to make sure I'm covering kind of both ends of the spectrum, if you will, in terms of types of people. There's all sorts of types of people, but I'm talking about one end of the spectrum to the other, and I'll cover the total opposite. So let's say you're a person that is like a supercharger, go get it, like I'm just going to make it happen. I'm not waiting around, impatient, really good. And it can be easy for you to end up basically doing everything for everybody because you're so impatient and you're good. And it's easy for you to recruit people and put people in, and all of a sudden, you know, you've built this big team, but the team is like not really doing anything because you've done it all for them. And I've seen this happen a lot of times. And I mean, these are really good people too, the people that are in this position. I mean, how great would that be for you to be in that position where it's like super easy for you to recruit and build, and you're like on fire, and you've got this thing about you where you just get it done. A, that's a great position to be in, but B, it's not a great position to be in when you're so impatient that you're not actually developing leaders and you're doing it for them, and then you're making them codependent. You're making them dependent upon you, so that if you're gone, you know, the whole thing falls apart because you're not there. Or even worse, and I've seen this happen with a lot of people, is they end up, because they're so impatient, I got to rise in rank. They make ranks happen. They're making ranks happen in a way where they're not organic rank advancements. They're placing people and stacking people and making the rank happen. And the problem with that is you're really not creating leaders. Yeah, you might have a rank, but you're not developing leaders. And now you're going to be stressed out every single month because those people have no motivation to do anything to maintain that rank or the volume that's required to make that rank. So you're going to be spinning plates all month long, trying to do everything you can to make those legs stay in whatever rank that they're in so that you get paid. And I've seen this happen countless times, and it's so crazy to be in a business that's where we have this independence and this freedom, and then people create like a worse off situation than having a full-time job, working for somebody, working for the man, working for the woman, whatever it is. And because they didn't develop leaders, right? Now the other side of the equation, let's say you're not that person. You're not that person that's like super easy, yet it's not super easy for you, and you're working and developing on your skills and your ability to do things well here and all of that. Well, for you, the way we go about developing leaders is developing people by working with people to help those individuals figure it out, not to ever do it for them, but to assist, guide, mentor, direct, be there to be a supporting person and be a supportive role in their developmental process. And then as you go about doing that, what I would suggest to you is that when you have people that are committed, that are showing through their actions that they want to do and they're wanting to build, and through their actions they're involved and they're doing things, then, which is a great position to be in. And obviously, you guys, if you follow me for any period of time, this whole phrase, work where you're deserved, not where you're needed. You work with people that, based on how they're showing up, are deserving of your time. That's very important. Not the ones that are just moving their lips and giving you lip service. The people that are taking action, those are the people that you engage with, that you connect with. I love to give people assignments or responsibilities that they wouldn't typically do on their own. Like give them the hey, John, can you take introductions on our team Zoom tonight? Or Sally, can you share your story about this on the Facebook Live tonight? Or Terry, I'd love it if you could, if let's say you're doing some kind of meeting, for example, or training, can you work at the registration table and help take registrations? Or can you be a greeter at the front door and high five people as they're coming in? Or can you do, so asking for their help. People want to be valued, needed, appreciated. It's human nature. I talk about this all the time, and something that I'll never stop talking about, because it's one of the greatest keys to relationship success is the valuing and the appreciation that we show for work that people or effort that people put forth in our organizations. And this goes to in and out of network marketing is the same, right? But if you're going to develop more leaders, you've got to develop people that can be independent of you. In other words, they are safe and secure enough in their own abilities where they don't necessarily require you every day. And I would say that you still maintain, as always, ongoing communication with those people. But the way that you develop more leaders is you identify those people in your organizations, wherever they are in depth, who are active, building, doing something. You create, if you either they're personally recruited or if they're in depth, you create connections with those people. You reach out to those people. You offer your assistance, guidance, direction, mentoring. You help mold them into successful builders who then become independent, and then you give them a greater degree of responsibility as they're ready for it. So, quick example, first time I was put on stage many years ago, 30 years ago, I would have never invited myself to be on stage. I would have never volunteered to host a conference call. I would have never volunteered, honestly, for anything, but I got volunteered to speak on stage. I was literally thrown the keys to an office. Hey, you're up, you're talking. And I was ready because I had practiced. I had done that specific training where I was trained at least on that specific training. So even though I hadn't volunteered for it, I was ready to do it. I would have never volunteered, but this guy knew how to step people up into a higher degree of leadership. So he volunteered me. So the other thing you need to think about is this, like, what are some of the other, for the whole thing to function in a bigger and better way, what are some of the responsibilities that other people can take on within the organization? We all have essentially equal responsibilities. We all do the same things, if you will. We're all prospecting and acquiring customers and launching team members and working with and developing and all of that, and then servicing our customers and providing ongoing assistance and support for our distributors. Putting on training events or training, whatever, providing resources to those people to help them be better, to get better results and so on, to make everything easier. But what I would suggest to you is you kind of look at what are some of the roles that you're playing as a leader, and how can you pass on some of those roles? Like, you might be hosting a regular conference call, Zoom, webinar. You might be hosting regular Facebook Lives where you're doing presentations. Whatever you're doing from a leadership perspective, ask yourself, well, who is ready right now to step up into this role in my organization and kind of share in the responsibilities? And it's not going to be everybody. It's going to be certain people based on where they are in their pathway to growth and success that are going to be ready. I wouldn't take a brand new person and say, hey, you're running the live today. Because they wouldn't be ready for it. They wouldn't have a clue of what to do. But if they've been in the business for a year and a half and they've seen it, they've been there, they've been trained on how to do it as well. Like me, I had been trained on how to give that specific training over and over and over again. So I was ready, but I hadn't volunteered. So there's a lot of times that we, as if we haven't been volunteered, if you're not being volunteered into a higher degree of leadership, like your leaders aren't recognizing you from the standpoint of what you're ready for, be willing to volunteer yourself and have you step up into a higher degree of leadership. But you as well, be very cognizant of who's in your group and who is ready to step up to taking introductions on your weekly Zooms or whatever it might be, helping with room setup, helping with room teardown, sharing their story, giving a 5-minute training, giving a 15-minute training on this, whatever it might be. I mean, you and everybody's groups are a little bit different, but I want you just to understand that developing more leaders involves us as leaders helping those people to step up to a higher degree of responsibility. But if we don't take those initiatives, like helping that person to step up, then many people aren't going to step up. So it's our role, it's our responsibility to help them figure it out, and then to help them to be and play a bigger role in whatever it is that we're providing the rest of the team. So I don't know where you're finding me. I love that you're here. I appreciate it so much. You might be on my YouTube channel. That's great. If you want to hear the rest of the story, you want to go over to my website, toddfalcone.com. If you're catching me on podcast and listening to me on audio, that's amazing as well. You can see the rest of the story and other details or some free downloads on my site at toddfalcone.com. toddfalcone.com/episode 52. That's toddfalcone.com/episode 52. Thanks for being here, and we'll see you on the next episode.